Hiya Steve, super session yesterday as always. Some serious hikes in your club head speed, which is great to see from your last visit back in July. So just a quick recap on the points that we covered during yesterday's session, which was a really productive session. If we look at your first shots, your initial shots, first thing we noticed at address, there's not really a great deal of weight forward at setup. So we're tending to look a little bit too traditional, if you will, at setup. We want to see a little bit more weight on that left hand side. So not a great deal of weight forward at setup, and then the left shoulder works across a little bit too level, pushing you up and off during the backswing. From there, left shoulder works up very quickly, left leg straightens very quickly, still not really getting out in front of it with that left ankle, and the low point of the club is moving back. Better version of your old swing, but still some sort of patterns in there from previous sessions. So the first thing we did was hit some 80-20 shots. We put the weight more on the left hand side, and we talked about the reason for this. Number of reasons. First of all, it gets the weight out more in front of it at setup, and allows you to be a little bit more aware of where the weight is during the downswing. Secondly, if the weight was too much on the right side, it would be very easy to get that left shoulder working across. With the weight more on the left side, it's easier to get the feel of the left shoulder working down. So even on this early stages of just putting the weight forward, the left shoulder now starts to work down a little bit more sooner and continues to work down for longer, resulting in less of a move off the golf ball during the backswing. As you can see there, much less of a differential between the two lines, much more sort of side bend at P4, and also left knee not quite creeping in as much, flexing forward a little bit more naturally. From there, with the weight 80-20, you're starting to get that left knee out in front of that left ankle, rather than just straightening the left knee very early. You can see the left shoulder staying a little bit more down, coming into the golf ball at that stage. We also talked about controlling the finish. I love this move. We missed the backswing, unfortunately. You can see the really good side bend, nice centre position, but this finish is great. This is what I want to see you doing. This is you thinking about stopping at chest height. In order for you to stop the arms quicker, the arms have to stay on the rib cage. The arms are staying on the rib cage. We're going to hit out at it in a more appropriate manner, and also we're going to control the rate of closure on the club face. Added to that, the extension during the backswing, or during the follow through should I say, is dramatically improved, and we don't go back into flexion quite as much. Massive improvements in your finish, so definitely want to see that sort of finish we see there on the top right. I'll leave that image up for you because I absolutely love that. The next thought then is to get the feeling, should I say, is to keep the left shoulder down from P4 to P5. What we see here is a left shoulder that works up too quickly. The left shoulder should return to its address height by P6. Yours is above address height. So what we're doing here is we're going to try and keep that left shoulder down during the transition. And you can see as you do that, the weight is increasing into the left side or the left knee is getting out in front of the left ankle. The linear movement is improved, and the release point is much tighter. You can see there P6, left arm much more down the right thigh, release point much more over the top of the golf ball than what we see on the two images from face on up on the top. So left shoulder down from P4 to P5. And then the other thing we tried to look at yesterday was clarifying what exactly controls the axis at certain stages of the swing. The overall look that we want at the top, when we're nice and centered on it, is a side bend to the left. So we're side bending to the left, allowing the axis to stay stable. But that side bend to the left is a combination of left tilt and extension. So how do we stabilize the axis? Well, from P1 to P2, maybe P2.5, the left shoulder working down is allowing the axis to stay stable. From P2 to P4, it's the extension that controls the axis and gives the side bend. So we're continuously turning throughout the backswing, but the key here is to identify that the side bend that we see here in the top center footage is a combination of left tilt and then extension. Now you could argue that you're doing the two things incrementally. You're always left tilting and you're always extending. But in the early part of the swing, the side bend is created by the left shoulder's movement down. And in the latter part of the backswing, the side bend is created by the player's extension. And we talked about the drill to achieve that. You can see there that the only thing you're trying to do is keep your head on my hand. And we use the drill with a door frame. Take your grip without a golf club, and if you were extending, turning and left tilting at the correct rate, the head or the axis would not move. Therefore, if you keep the axis fixed and work on that swinging movement, the rate at which you're doing things must be correct. So you're able then to isolate the feel from P1 to P2, isolate the feel from P2 to P3, and from P3 to P4. So a little bit of conditioning work on your part away from the range. A couple of minutes a day wouldn't go amiss, just to freshen up the feeling and clarify what you're looking for. Side bend at the top of the backswing is not just left tilt, it's not just extension, it's a combination of the two, and one controls the axis more than the other depending on where you are in the golf swing. Hope that sheds some light on what we did yesterday. Like I say, super session, massive improvement in ball flight and club head speed, and I can't wait to meet up with you again in a month or so's time for the next session. Keep it up, and I want to see this finish here on the top right. Love it. See you soon.